So guys, everybody complained when Enrique cut his hair. So we got somebody with better hair. Welcome, new Enrique. Yeah, you ready to play some jiu-jitsu? This is one of my favorite guys. I like to attack the upper body. A lot of times when the guy stands up in my guard, I will attack the armbar. Now, if it's not there, I use K-guard entry into, again, I have, depending how he falls, I have either knee bar or heel hook. Okay, one more time. So again, follow up from, the guy stands up in your guard. I don't wait till for him, once he stands up, once he regains his posture, I immediately go in. Tap. Guys, keep in mind that my leg position is slightly different from probably most people that you've seen the similar techniques from. I'm not a big fan necessarily of entering legs from the top. I prefer, if somebody asks me what are my favorite leg entries, my favorite leg entries are from the bottom. It's usually knee bars, and it's usually from a failed arm lock. It's usually if the guy passes my guard, that's usually where I go. But here, I will threaten the legs, We're done. I don't even need to use my other hand. Do I?
The camera says we tap it.
It's important for me to see you tapping. I feel you tapping, not necessarily the camera, even though the camera agreed with me. So guys, again, we're gonna try to back step into the legs. I don't, I know it's a big thing to control the other leg. I usually try not to control the other leg because my personal philosophy is when I control the other leg, at some point I have to get rid of it to attack the leg that I really want. So I'm usually going for the leg that I really want to begin with. And I know guys that are more specialized more in leg lock attacks, they tend to more go for both legs to control the whole body. But for me, it's like, now I have to sort of work to get rid of it. So if Enrique were to take this away from me, go ahead. I will attack the upper body. So Enrique passed my guard. I bumped him forward. I'm trying to do inverted knee bar. I think I could have had this one. No?
Too late down.
Too late down. And he turns and I go into 50-50. Before he has a chance to lock up his left leg to protect it. Notice how my left foot is trying to keep his left leg in place a little bit longer so he cannot use it to protect himself. I'm going to go at the knee, going to bend, and I'm going to scoop it up. So now, guys, let's look at some of the grips. A lot of people use the palm up grip, which is very, very good for breaking. The problem is it's fairly easy to lose control. So I'm sorry, it's palm down rather. Me personally, I like to use palm up. All right. So if you go palm down, it's a very strong break, but it's a little bit easier to lose control. Me, I personally like palm up, which is a little bit harder for me to lose control of the heel. And I really like this one where I reach across with my other arm. All right. So again, there's a variety of reasons. One is this is really good breaking power. But the problem is, like I said, if you're a leg lock specialist, it's easy to regain control. For me, my legs are somewhat hanging out there too. So if you lose control, now it might result in a bit of a scramble and a possibility of your own legs being taken. So again, if this is great breaking power, but I don't want to lose control. So what I usually do, reach across with the other hand, which allows me to kind of reinforce that heel, or even palm up. All right. So what happens if Enrique brings the leg to if he brings it to the other side, or if I bring it to the other side, We also have a very strong knee bar.
Tap, tap, tap.
And the possibility. Notice, guys, I changed my grip on this one because the control is very tight.
Tap.
So I have another heel hook on the other side. Okay, they can't see my, but they cannot see my right hand grip. So can you see my right hand grip, guys?
Yes, they can.
Okay, good. Now go back. All right, so now, as he's dropping in, this is a good grip. This is a good breaking grip. All right?
Tap.
Now, but it's easy. If that heel slips now, you know, a good guy is just going to now take it to me. All right? So now what he's going to do is possibly attack, toe hold. All right? So I personally prefer either reinforce the heel all right, or this is much harder to slip. It's not as strong breaking power, but it's much harder to slip. Now if Enrique turns, I go for a knee bar.
Tap.
Go ahead. I start to lose it. I try to make sure that I keep the knee line long enough for me to prop myself up. And then I just drive. Was that a tap or was that just a... Almost. I wasn't sure what means. Notice the placement of my right foot. Sometimes I'll place it behind his left cheek, sometimes behind right cheek. Depends what I'm trying to accomplish. Am I trying to really isolate his right leg, or am I trying to almost strip it? Now, one of the biggest problems that people do is they're trying to put too hard, trying to put the hands on the floor. I really don't care which way he goes. Most often with single AX, I will start arching, and don't arch straight up, arch diagonally. One thing that can help this is bring the inside hand, in this case it's my right arm, across. That gives you sort of the angle. So if Enrique doesn't go down, which he did, but if he doesn't go down, he will be stumbling. All right? So again, right now, if I want to stop his left leg from stepping back in a big way, I'm going to place, can you pivot, Enrique? I'm going to put my right foot behind his left cheek.
This is my best angle. By the way.
Enjoy the view. As Enrique said, this is his best angle. So I place my right foot behind his left cheek. Now, if I want to isolate and load up on his right leg, I can replace. All right. So this is a very short movement, very efficient. All right. Now, so if I want to put his hands on the floor, a lot of times, again, reach with the inside hand. That gives you a good angle. If he stumbles, I go the other way. Now his hands are on the floor. So from here, there's a lot of things I could do. First, what I usually like to do is exaggerate his angle. So a lot of times, if I need him to go further, I like, Enrique could still do things from here if he can recover his base and start driving. Yeah. If he can start driving sort of with his knee at 6 o'clock, putting weight on you, he can take that entanglement away from you. Not just that, but actually punish you for it. So you got to be really careful with that position. It looks like you got something good going, but if you got a guy that's got some skill, he can still not just take it away from you, but literally wind up on top side control with past your legs, past your hips, and start basically hunting you down. So let's look at it again. So when I go into Ashigarami, so a lot of times, again, I play and I start to off balance. If I reach, and from here, his hands are on the floor. I usually like, so some people hook here. I like to do that, but if it depends what Enrique is doing. Right now, his knees misaligned, but all he needs to do is just turn a little bit, and now it starts to go south for me. So before that happens, what I usually like to do is bring the outside leg, in this case my right, to push him forward. From here, tap. I have very strong finish. I usually like this grip. This is my favorite grip. I just found that the sort of wristwatch grip, that it's easy to slip the heel. So even if I get it in a decent position, so personally, this is the grip I prefer. All right, so let's look at it one more time. So again, don't forget, I'm sort of trying to off balance him at least 2, possibly 3. So it's forward, backwards, and sometimes off to the sides. So rather than just working with one direction, try to off balance him. So don't think about it, I want to put his hands on the floor. You want to off balance him. So if he goes down, you can either enter the legs or come up. If his hands go on the floor, again, you can either attack the legs or wrestle up and come up on top. All right, so let's look at it again. A lot of times I will push. From here, this is a good place for me. Tap. I could always go into knee bars here. So there's a lot of options you have from that position. Let's look at it from on the other side now. Just change it up a little bit so they can see the angle. So again, my foot, the inside leg, it's very easy. I reach with the inside hand to get the rotation I need. As he stumbles, I will push with my right foot to make sure he cannot drive backwards. And from here, sometimes if you try to stay up a little bit more, Enrique, sometimes I will bring my left foot to just push, make sure, and from here. Right now, this is the grip I like. I like to eventually transition to this. Tap. All right, guys, on that note, we'll see you next week.
Like, share, subscribe, tell your training partners, your mom, your dad. Happy Father's Day.
And your friends. We'll see you next time.